Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 5 Days with Bob Proctor on the Money Frequency. This is day number 5, and we have an amazing call planned for you today. So, we are going to start out with question and answers with Araj Vasugi, who you have all become very familiar with this week. And then we're going to hand it over to Bob, who has a special guest joining us that you're not going to want to miss. So, let's go ahead and get started. I've got my team sending us questions from the live chat. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the live chat on YouTube. We'll get through as many as we can. And Araj, are you all ready to get started?
I'm ready, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, first question. How can I get past living in my old paradigm?
Well, Bob was talking about it all week. The best way is really think about what you want. And I think the best way to do it is that's why I had you guys write out your goal 100 times, because we want to replace the old idea with the new idea and fix it in your mind. And another great exercise to do on top of that is get out a piece of paper and write out and start it with, I'm so happy and grateful, and how you really want to live. And allow your imagination to take over. And what we want to do is replace your present results and you thinking from what is in front of you to how you really want to live. And that's the key. That's the only way you're going to get it. See, it doesn't take much thinking of what's in our life right now. And I was the first person to say that because I used to do that until I got mentored by Bob. And he said, you're going to keep creating the same thing over and over again if you do that. So really think from how you want to live.
All right, thanks, Suraj. This next question, what can I do to help others to bring down my frequency?
Mike, you cut out for a sec. I didn't hear it.
Sorry about that. What can I do to not allow others to bring down my frequency?
Think about what you really want. Nobody can bring down your frequency unless you allow them to. And so you've got to control your attitude. Spend time with those people who are quote unquote bringing down your frequency far less. And really remind yourself there's only two things you control. You control what you think about and you control your attitude, and make a decision that you're only going to focus on what you're grateful for, what you're really creating, and really get to work on it. And then you're going to start attracting all other type of people who are in harmony with that.
All right, this next question. Do you have any techniques that can help me manifest quicker?
Techniques to manifest quicker. That's a good question. For me, it's accepting an idea right away and increasing the intensity of your thinking of what you want. We don't know how long anything's going to take. However, I believe we could speed it up with the intensity of our thoughts. However, we cannot be attached to it. When we're attached to something, it's owning us. So you have to be surrendered. And I don't know if you guys have read Bob's book, You Were Born Rich, but he has a great chapter in there called Let Go, Let God. And if anyone wants to learn about surrendering, that's a great chapter to study.
Absolutely. And if you don't have a copy of You Were Born Rich, you can go to proctorgallagher-institute.com, click on tips and tools, and download a free ebook of You Were Born Rich. This next question, I have a big goal, but the money paradigm always gets in my way. How can I break free from this?
We have to understand what money is. When you say the money paradigm gets in your way, money is an effect. It's not the cause. So what we want to do is fall in love with what we really are creating and what we want. I told Bob this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking and I said, if I was starting over, I would put much less pressure on myself to go create, quote unquote, let the results dictate me. And I would just focus on detaching from the result and focusing on developing my behaviors, focus on developing my attitude, focus on developing my focus. Bob worked with me on focus for so long, focus on getting emotionally involved with what I love, and focus on really detaching from my present circumstance.
Absolutely. Can you tell us what is a good morning routine?
Well, I could tell you what my morning routine is, and it's worked great for me. So my morning routine is, first thing I do is I get up at 5 a.m. And the first thing I do is I exercise for 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And the reason I do that is because it gets my blood flowing and really gets me in a good vibration. Then I do gratitude. Right away, I do gratitude, and I do it right when I wake up as well, but I redo it right after I work out. Then I will do a meditation. It doesn't need to be long. Like I do a 10 to 15-minute meditation. And then I auto-suggest my goal for 5 minutes. I keep repeating, and auto-suggesting, for the people who don't know, is giving a suggestion from yourself to yourself. And then I get into my day, and, I also write out, before I forgot one step, I write out 20 I am statements. I am healthy. I am powerful. I am successful. I am loved. And I write that out because I'm constantly working on my image. The image to me is the foundation of success, and we can never outperform our self-image. So any way I could work on my image, I'm always wanting that to be a part of my not just my morning routine, but my day.
Yeah. I know you've talked about how important it is to start your day with a win. Do you want to talk about why that's important to start with wins?
Yeah. I mean, when we start our day with a win, we're going to have more wins throughout the day. The reason when I changed to this morning routine, because I would, really work on different morning routines and see what worked for me. And I encourage you to do that, because you're going to have a different rhythm. Like I talked to Bob about his morning routine. The first thing he does is he's thinking about, reading first thing, or right away with his goal. So you want to find what works for you, but the key is getting wins. Once you get in a habit of starting your day with a win, you're allowing momentum to work for you throughout the day, and winning becomes contagious. Now, remember, losing is contagious too. So if you are just going in and just letting the outside control you, you could be working against yourself.
Thanks, Raj. You will have a great answer for this next question, because yesterday on Coach's Corner, you talked about how you used to be a strong starter, but a poor finisher. And the question here is, I get really motivated for my goal and then somehow never push myself to follow through. What can I do to keep myself more accountable?
Well, you want to get accountability partners in the beginning. That's what I had, and I remember I told Bob that I wasn't very disciplined, and he said, that's because you don't have a goal, is what he told me, first of all. And he said, you're operating with the wrong attitude. And so when you have a goal, I believe now, looking back, and my awareness has changed so much over the last decade, our goal is our best accountability partner as you develop yourself and continue gaining awareness. Everything I measure is to my goal throughout the day. Am I acting like that person? Do I have the attitude of that person? Do I have the discipline of that person? These are questions I ask myself throughout the day, because they give me the answers, and I will tell you, ask yourself, is that goal what you really want? Is it a wish or a hope, or is it a real, committed, irrevocable decision that this is what I'm doing no matter what? Because I've had goals where I've drifted a little, but I realized over time it wasn't really what I wanted. And Bob all week, and if you guys work with Bob, which I highly encourage you to, but if you get mentored by him, he is going to really get this ingrained in you and burn it in your subconscious, to keep asking yourself, what is it that I really want? That is what's going to move you.
All right, next question. What is the biggest, most impactful lesson that you have learned from Bob?
The biggest, I have several. The one that comes to mind is on attitude right away. One day I called Bob and I was stuck, and he said, well, why do you think you're stuck? And I said, well, I don't see that I'm creating a quantum leap. In the last few years, I've created a quantum leap. He said, well, how do you know you're not? And I said, I guess the results. He said, so you're going to let the results dictate it? And I said, oh, shoot. And he said, you're operating with the wrong attitude. And he said, listen, Arash, he said, anybody can have a great attitude when things are going well. He said, but the true professionals in life have an even better attitude when things are not going as well. Well, that really had an emotional impact on me. So I took a deep dive into attitude, and I started studying attitude. Like I would listen to attitude, and I still listen to it every year for 90 days, because then I started understanding it on a different level. Bob was talking this week about attitude is a combination of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. But if you ask me what is the most important thing that I have really understood throughout the last 12, 13 years is our attitude dictates everything in our life.
I cannot agree more. And I feel like this is a good point to talk about the importance of mentorship, because right there, you are such a serious student and have been for well over a decade. And you had a gap that you didn't see, but I heard it when just now you said, Bob pointed out and you said, oh, shoot. Mm-hmm. Like there it is. How important is it to have a mentor who can see those gaps for you and help you close them?
Well, it's essential to have a mentor. You know, I was saying it yesterday. You want to find the right mentor and model what the mentor tells you to do and eliminate any distraction that is opposite of it. You know, what happens is mentorship is they're bringing out the potential in the mentee that the mentee doesn't know how to do because they don't have the awareness. You know, Bob always talks about his 7 main mentors. I talk about Bob all the time because he guided me to change my life. And I just accepted whatever he tells me, even to this day. If he tells me something, even sometimes I don't understand it, I do it because I know he knows much better than I know. And when you have a mentor, that's the key. But the key of mentorship is surrendering to them. Do exactly what they tell you to do. You know, I have people come to me all the time. They said, oh, I've done this for a few weeks and it isn't working. Oh, I've seen some of this on you. It's not on YouTube. Mentorship is direction, and it's specific directions in a certain way. And when you follow that, that's when your results are going to really take off.
All right, this next question. How can I eliminate negative thoughts that come into my mind? And what can I do to change these negative thoughts to positive thoughts?
You know, the first thing you want to do is start understanding how important your thoughts are. Okay. And you want to just let them go. The negative thoughts, let them go like cars going down a freeway. Okay. You just let it pass. But we want to discipline our thinking. Our thoughts travel faster than the speed of light. So anytime you have a negative thought, if anybody tries this for 30 days, they're going to create great discipline in their thinking. Anytime they have a thought that is not in harmony with what they want, just say the word cancel and reaffirm the opposite. Really condition your mind to do this. In 30 days, you're going to have far few limiting thoughts than what you're currently having. It's a behavior. And it may be a behavior because you're allowing the outside to control you, or you're operating from a negative mental attitude. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. What you want to do is stop it right now in its tracks and really understand that a negative mental attitude is only going to bring you more of what you don't want.
All right, this next question. When you are coming from a place of extreme want, how do you suggest creating a balance from really, really wanting something to wanting it so much that now you are coming from a place of scarcity?
Well, you can never come from scarcity. Every thought we have is either a thought of abundance or scarcity. You know, so you have to condition your mind, like I was just talking about there. And like all week, you know, Bob and I both said it in different ways, that say no to everything that is not what you want. You know, I believe our want is so important. You got to want it so badly because that want is what turns into a desire. And if you guys go watch that lesson from yesterday, Bob did a slide and he talks about the want is in our conscious mind and the desire is in our subconscious mind. And so you have to have a strong want, but you can't be attached to it. You know, when you're attached to something, it owns you. But when you want it, it's going to ooze out of you. And you're going to really, like I always say, when you have such a strong want, it turns into a desire. And if you need to move 16 mountains, you'll move 18 mountains. You know, and remember this, you're spending the time anyway. You might as well show yourself how great you are, because you're going to spend the time doing it, whether you work passively or you work on really going after what you want with your full heart.
Okay. All right, this next question. What helps one to stay aware of the money frequency once they have found it?
Well, you know, you start acting in harmony with what you want. Again, you know, in this question, it's money frequency. So you start acting in harmony with what money is. So you want to understand money. So have it circulate. You know, when I didn't have money, I used to play games with myself. Okay. I used to drive down and I'd say, okay, I'm going to spend $10,000 a day in my mind. So a nice car would go by and I'd say, oh, I could pay for that. Well, I'm getting on the money frequency. When I'd get bills that I couldn't pay at that time, I'd write a check right away and say, oh, I'm so grateful that I could pay for this. Because remember, what I was doing is my subconscious doesn't know what's true or what's imagined. You know, it only knows what I give it. So that's how I stayed on the money frequency. And as you gain more awareness, have money circulating. Keep a couple $100s in your wallet so you could see it. You don't even have to spend it, but you want to see it. Well, that's keeping you on the frequency. And understand, just like our blood's flowing in our body right now, if I stop the blood flow, it's not going to circulate. Well, if you stop the flow of money in your life, it's not going to circulate.
Absolutely. How do I know which frequency I am on now and if it is the right one?
You could feel it. Your feelings will tell you everything. You'll feel when you're in a bad vibration. Just like if you went in a room and you felt somebody's energy and you're like, oh, I want to stay away from that person, you'll know it too. And you want to start developing your intuition by trusting it with the small things. But you will know, and your results will tell you where you're at right now, like in this moment. And I don't mean just like the big results. I mean today's results, how I'm feeling. That's a result. It will tell me, and I can always change how I feel by changing how I think.
This next question. Being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Can you please explain what that means more?
Well, that means you're partnering up with PGI. You're partnering up with Bob. You're partnering up with all of us, helping you create your own coaching and consulting business where you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. So we're helping you and showing you exactly what to do and how to do it. And the ideas work if you work the ideas. Like our consultants, you're going to meet one today, and she has an amazing story, and she worked the ideas. And you'll see from her present, when she started, her present circumstance said the opposite. But she has been extremely coachable. She had extreme courage, and she went after what she wanted. And what I was talking about earlier, she's a great example of modeling the mentorship and really putting it to work.
Yep. A great example with an incredibly inspiring story. This next question, how do we handle and overcome procrastination?
Through action. Very simple. You know, Emerson says, do the thing will give you power. You know, you got to do it. Action is what's going to get you to your results. If you don't take action, the results are not going to happen.
This next question, how do we know it's time to change? I feel stuck in my place and don't know how to identify what I need to shift.
Well, I think we're changing all the time, number one. Basically, what you're saying right now is anytime I feel stuck, it's not a very fun place, but it's a great place because I know that's what makes me move. Because when you're so dissatisfied, Bob always taught me dissatisfaction is a very creative state. You know, when I'm just, just going along and I'm not even thinking because I'm just comfortable, that's a dangerous place. But when I'm stuck, it's like, okay, what do I really want? Why I'm trading my life for this? Is this what I really want? And I think our soul comes in and says, come on, that gives us a nudge that says, come on, there's more for us to do. You know, and I think that's what comes in our awareness and really gets us to start thinking.
Yeah. I heard that we are not to share our goals with other people because it sends an impulse to our minds that we've already achieved them before we start. Should I be sharing my goals?
I mean, I have a different opinion on this. When I first started, I didn't share my goal with many people. You know, now I like sharing my goals with everybody because I want the whole world to be my accountability partner. Because anytime I can put myself on the hook, it's better for me. You know, it really has to do with your relationship with it. But in the beginning, I definitely did not share it with people. You know, I shared it with my wife. I shared it with my maybe one or two friends that I knew who supported me. So if you're going to share it with somebody, share it with people who are like-minded, who are going to support you and who are not going to be dream stealers. Okay. Don't share it with people who are limited. And, one of the best advices I've gotten from Bob is, the only people you want to surround yourself with is people who are doing better than you. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room because we want to continue growing. And, the 5 people you hang out with the most is what your results are going to be.
Yeah. What do you do when doubt creeps in, and how do you silence it?
You talk to it. You say, is this real? Like, is the doubt real? And I go, is this real? No. Okay, then I start focusing back on what I want. Because remember, we control what we think about. Bob said it all week. You can have, be, or do anything you want. And I've been telling you guys, I want you to accept Bob's idea. I want you to borrow Bob's belief. I want you to borrow my belief because I was on the opposite end. And both Bob and I, when we started, we were on the opposite end. And now we changed our life by doing the work. And what's going to happen is as you really go deep with this, as you get the mentorship, if you get the direction, as you do it, as you do the things that we're telling you and work the ideas, your confidence is going to change every day. Confidence is something you work on every day by the person you become. Every action is going to increase your confidence if you're taking right action, And one of the things that I coach people on is don't shrink. Anytime you shrink, you're saying, I'm not good enough, which isn't true. Have the courage to go after what you want, because it will take courage to win. And all of us have it. We have it in. Some of them have not brought it out, but I promise you it's in there.
This is the perfect follow-up question. And I have to say, this group is submitting such great questions today. How important is faith in this process?
I think it's everything. Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, if you guys have studied it, if not, I encourage you to study the chapter on faith. Study it for 30 days. Every day we have to have faith because there's so much unknown every time I wake up, so we don't know. Remember, we can only control what we think about. Well, when we're having faith, we're believing in the invisible, and I would encourage you guys to believe in the invisible. That's what I did with Bob. Like when I met him, I knew about him. I studied him from afar. I read his books. I watched some of his programs, but I had to have faith in him, and that was one of my best decisions I ever made.
This next question, how can I be mentored at PGI?
What I would recommend you do, you can get mentored when you make the decision to get mentored. And I encourage you to make the decision within a millisecond, because your life is going to change. But all you have to do is talk to your success advisor, and they will take you through a strategy session and get you in the right mentorship, whether it's our coaching program, whether it's our masterclass, our inner circle mentorship program, or to partner up with us and be a consultant. We will help you, and we will show you exactly what to do.
Yep. I have several goals and they all seem important. How do I know which to focus on first, or can I focus on all of them at the same time?
I mean, for me personally, I focus on one goal at a time, possibly two, one or two at the most. And I would look at your goals and ask, out of those goals, number them from 1 to 10. Let's say you have 10 written down. Which one would make the biggest impact in your life? Which one is the most important to you? And then I would start with that one.
Okay. I have a goal, but I don't know how to get there. A few people say that a goal without a plan is just a dream. Can you please explain this?
Well, you're never going to know if you're setting a C-type goal. And remember, a C-type goal is a goal you've never done. You don't know how in the world you're going to do it, but it's going to take you to get comfortable being uncomfortable to do it. So the person who asked the question on faith, that this will go in with the goal. What you want to do first is get emotionally involved with that idea, fall in love with that idea, and start acting and thinking like that person. Then as you act and think like that person, what's going to happen is there's going to be people, circumstances, situations that will come to you that will give you the how will show itself. When the want is so strong, the how always shows itself. Bob always told me, if you need somebody to achieve your goal who is in another country, you will attract it to you. Your job is to get emotionally involved and live from that place, live from that space. All week Bob was talking about when he was talking frequencies, when those lines on the slide were up, he says, every line is a frequency. We've got to act, our mind has to act and operate in harmony with your goal on that frequency.
Yeah. How do I plant my goal into my subconscious mind? Is that where auto-suggestion comes in?
Auto-suggestion is a great way to do it. It's the repetition of an idea over and over and over again. A great example of it is auto-suggestion. Another one, when Bob was playing his Earl Nightingale that he put on from Lead the Field and The Strangest Secret, he said he listened to it thousands of times. That's another way.
Okay. What are some tips to build your self-image?
You could change the way you dress, number one. Number two, write out the person you intend to become in the present tense. Write it out every day and really act like that person. You can also do another way is read the self-confidence formula from Think and Grow Rich every day. But really is act and think like the person. I asked Bob this question. I said, what do you think the best way to change your image? He said, dress was number one. So I changed the way I dress. And you will see how much your image changes over the years.
How do you develop or strengthen your will?
Through practice. And so, like all the higher faculties, there's some that you naturally, I feel like, and I love Bob's opinion on this, but like, I feel like there's one or two that we already naturally do better than others, but really like the will, like I have a very strong will, but I practice it every day. And so use it, and you could use it with small things, and you can improve your focus, which will improve your will. They work so hand in hand together.
How do you learn to let go of thoughts that no longer serve you?
You just choose it. It doesn't serve you. You say no to it. It does not control you. You are bigger than any thought you have. That's why I said a great way is just look at the thought and be detached from it and say, oh, that was interesting. That thought came by, and just let it go.
Yeah. Should I put a time frame on my goals?
Always. Always. And don't be attached to the time frame, but don't change the time frame until that time changes. There's times where I've had goal cards that I've achieved right on the date, before the date, and some a year later. All I do is change the date. But my job, I don't know exactly when the goal is going to be achieved, but I keep working on it and keep working on it and keep working on it. And I know it's going to happen.
How do you suggest to deal with a negative spouse? I try to start projects and his fears bring me down.
Yeah, so I get this question a lot. And the best way is to lead by example. You're going to change the vibration of your home by who you become. If you allow their negative mental attitude and show them that it's bringing you down, they're going to keep doing it. So just say, oh, that's interesting, change the subject, go in a different room, and really keep working on you. And as you work on you, I promise you, you'll change it. I have so many clients who have done programs with us, and they've told me that. Then 6 months later, their spouse is a part of it. It changes, but don't try to force it on them. Lead by example, and it's going to naturally change the vibration.
Yes. Could you please clear up the difference between a want and a desire?
Well, everything starts in a want first. A want is in your conscious mind. A desire is in your subconscious mind. So the repetition of really saying our want over and over again, thinking about our want over and over again, turns into a desire. I want you to think about something that like you cannot stop thinking about. Okay. That is a desire. Think about when you fell in love for the first time, or when you fell in love with anything. It was a desire. I told you guys earlier, I fell in love with the idea of freedom when I was struggling. That became a desire, and it became a healthy obsession for me. That's what I work towards.
I have a bad relationship with money. How can I change this?
Work on it and stop saying you have a bad relationship. You have a bad understanding of it. Okay. You don't have to have a bad relationship with it. Work on it. Study it. Study Bob. Go and work with Bob closely. He got me to understand money, and money isn't that big of a deal. It's funny. I was coaching a client yesterday, and we were talking, and he said, money's not that important. I go, that's because you have a lot of it now. I said, the people who have a lot of it understand it's not that important. The people who don't have it really want it. It's such a dichotomy, but really study it. There's a great book that I have. It's really small, but this is some of the best philosophy on money. It's called Money is God in Action. It's, what is it? About 14, 15 pages of the best philosophy on money that you can find.
I love it. Money is God in action for anyone who missed it. I am a teenager just getting started. What is one thing you can tell me to help me find my purpose or passion in life?
Well, focus on what you love, but don't be so obsessed about your purpose. Your purpose will find you. Focus on creating goals. Focus on creating great behaviors. Focus on really developing your confidence. Your purpose will find you. That you're even studying this as a teenager is such a great sign for where you're going to be. I love hearing that. My kids are 8 and 9, but I've been teaching it to them since they were born. And I will tell you, just keep studying you, but I would focus on being a goal achiever, a goal setter, and an achiever from a very young age, and develop parts of your character, develop your attitude, develop your discipline. Those are things that I would recommend.
Okay. How can I work on mindset with preschool age children?
Well, you start talking to them about it. That's what I've done. And Mike, I know that's what you've done, and like I've had Bob talk to my kids, and I will constantly talk to them. It's the environment that you create. And I don't necessarily have them go and study it. It's more through lessons. So I give them activities of what to do, and they've fallen in love with it. Like my kids create a vision board every year. They create their own vision board. They do gratitude, and they really love it.
Yeah, same here. And I actually find that it's fun to work with kids on these concepts because they get so easily enthused about things that it's just fun to work on with them. This next question, how do you explain a strong comfort zone and how I can get out of it? And is that considered a paradigm?
Well, a comfort zone, you're not growing. Okay. Like a lot of people don't want to get out of their comfort zone, but I want you to think about something magical that's happened in your lives. I just want you to think about it for a second. I can promise you that did not happen in your comfort zone. The magic happens when we're out of our comfort zone, where we walk into the unknown. We don't know how in the world this is going to end up, but we come out with our full faith and we're leading with our heart. So, you want to identify and adopt this principle of getting comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's when your life is really going to start. That's when it really takes off. When I'm in my comfort zone, I know I'm stuck. This is where I know that's like a trigger for me. Okay, I gotta really start thinking about something that I really want.
Okay. This next question, should you focus on smaller goals that lead up to a bigger goal that you really want as a final result, or just focus on the end result only?
Focus on the end result. Those smaller goals will be achieved on the way to the bigger goal, but I always focus on the end goal and really live in that space. And you will start attracting these baseline goals as you go.
All right, next question. How do you keep positive when you are in a lot of debt?
Well, your debt is based on the past. So you stay positive because that's the only way to do it. And this isn't about positive or negative. We're talking about attitude here. And our attitude controls everything in our life. So we don't have a choice. You have to let go of what didn't work and start day one today.
All right, this next question. When you mention act like the person you want to become, what does this mean and how can I implement it?
Well, really start thinking, if you were living the way you wanted to be, what would your life look like? What would your experiences be? What would you dress like? What would your confidence be? What type of friends would you have? What type of relationships would you have? What type of trips would you be taking? What would you be doing? Would you be waking up being in love with what you do? So start thinking exactly as how your life will be. And it's good. I promise you this. This is the one thing I can assure you. It's going to be better than anything you could imagine. That is what I've experienced. It's bigger and better. The universe knows so much more than I do, so much more than we do. And once we get in that frequency, it really is magical.
I could not agree more. Raj, there's several questions in the chat about what does it mean to be a Proctor Gallagher consultant? And if you don't want to be a consultant, is there an option to be mentored as well?
Yeah, so to be a consultant, you'd be in business for yourself and not by yourself, partnering up with Bob and PGI on building your own coaching business where you're taken by the hand and shown what to do and how to do it. And yet we have a ton of mentorship programs. We have our year-long coaching program, where it took Bob 9 years to create, where he uses everything he's learned throughout his life and from his 7 main mentors. We have an Inner Circle program, which is a high-level mentorship program where you study with Bob, you study what Bob studies, you have question and answers with Bob, and you have a masterclass mentorship program that anybody who becomes a consultant by Monday, they get the masterclass for 2 months. And the masterclass, I always tell people, it's Bob deconstructing his process from where he was to where he is now, than when he created Failure to Success, and really is showing you exactly what to do and how to do it. It's very high level. It's 2 hours a week of working closely with Bob.
All right. Thank you, Raj. And the way that you get into any of these programs or find out which one is the best fit for you is by scheduling a call with your success advisor. And we are going to be coming back to Iraj in just a little bit. But for now, I want to turn this over to Bob, who has a special guest who's going to join us. Bob, it's all yours.
Well, thank you, Mikey. You know, somebody was asking, how do you get out of debt? Read You Were Born Rich. You can download it. There's a section in there. It tells you exactly how to get out of debt. It's what I did because I was in debt, and it's not a nice place to live. You can get out of debt, and it's a magical situation that we talk about. I want to introduce you to a lady that I met a number of years ago, Kim Calvert. Let's get Kim right on here now. Kim is from Northern Ireland. Welcome, my dear friend. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Bob. Lovely to see you. Good to be here.
Kim, when did you first start with us?
2016, I believe.
You've been with us now for 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a 5 years.
Well, you know, I was thinking about it this morning, and I couldn't figure out, and I was going to text somebody to see if they could tell me. And for the life of me, I don't think very well in reverse. So if you go backwards, you get me lost really fast. Kim started out, when Kim first came from Northern Ireland, she came into a room. I remember her being there. And you seemed like a very introverted, quiet, shy individual. And you seemed a little scared. Am I accurate or not? Is that my imagination?
Oh, 100%. I was scared, terrified, and just wanted to be invisible most of the time.
Now, that was 5 years ago. This is truth. This is real truth. Corey and I were talking about you this morning, and we agreed if we could think of one word to describe you, it's integrity. You are one of the most honest, direct people that I have ever met in my life. You have such phenomenal qualities, but that stands out above all the others. This lady came to us, as I find out now, 5 years ago. Now, I remember her being in the room. There was a number of other people in the room, but she seemed like she did not belong there. She was so scared. I felt sorry for her. I wanted to go over and hug her and say, relax, you can have fun in life. At any rate, today, out of all the consultants worldwide, she's number one. She has done something that the people in the company that set this up didn't believe anybody could do it. We have positions that you work toward. You recognize different pins. Well, they come up with one they were going to call it Executive Diamond. To be an executive diamond, you have to bring 750 people in 1 year into our program. Kim, you've probably helped millions of people with what you're doing. Tell us overall, just in a few words, we don't have a lot of time, how'd you do this?
Well, I can really sum it up, I suppose, in 3 words, and it's probably not the answer that most people want, because when we talk about results, most people want to know, what did you do? How did you do it? And how can I do it? And I like to really get back to the root cause of results, which is, of course, thinking. And I had a massive desire. Now, before I really was able to cultivate the desire, I had a feeling inside me that when I was in my nursing office, before it was great today because we were just off a teaching from Les Brown. And I remember listening to Bob and Les Brown with my earphones when I was at the gym. And I heard these voices and these words, and it resonated. And I didn't know why it resonated, but it just had this pull from my heart that I knew there was something bigger, there was something more, but I did not think it was possible for me. I did not think that the little short person, as Bob reminds me, could do this. I have no business background. I am dyslexic. I still don't know my times tables, but something in the pit of my stomach pulled at me. And as I got that pull, there was also a push. And now I know that was a paradigm. I did not know that back then. But that push and that pull gave me a very uncomfortable, uneasy feeling that most of the time I wanted to run away from. And it's probably what I say most people run away from. But something in me just, I need to hear more. And when I watched a video that I'm sure a lot of the viewers have listened to, and Bob, you were speaking, as soon as I heard that, I just started to cry. And I now know it wasn't because it's Bob Proctor, but it was his spirit was talking to my spirit. He was making me realize the potential within me. But this was all happening at the one time. So my biggest thing that I want everyone to realize was that I first made a decision to honor the feeling. And I think decisions, you make them in lots of little consecutive ways. You know, I made the decision to get on the phone. You know, so many people are listening here and, you know, you're probably making up things in your mind, but you haven't even picked up the phone. And that's the first decision. Then my next decision was to bet on myself. Now, I had no justifiable reason to think that I could make this work. But I always remember a little lesson I learned from my first mentor, which is my dad. And he always said, if I can see somebody doing that, then I can do that. And I remember my dad saying that from a young age. And I heard Bob say it. And that really was just compounding this belief. Now, I had to borrow that belief. And Bob says that all of the time, borrow my belief. It's what I say to my clients. Because you don't know what you don't know. And when you're in a place where you're getting results, you got to realize that's because of your current mindset. So you're not going to know the how. You're not going to know how it's all going to work out. And this is where I believe faith has been my biggest cornerstone. When anyone asks me, Kim, how have you done what you've done in the last year? I'm like, well, that's nothing. It's what I've done in the last 6 years. And I honestly believe that that's come down to my faith and understanding. I believe in God. I believe that that is the higher power that I've allowed to work to and through me. And I've been an expression of that great, powerful energy. And it was Bob that taught me how to express it. I always had it. Everybody has it, but I was able to express it. So I really believe, Bob, it's the decision backed with a burning desire, which comes from love. And then the discipline to continue on in that progressive realization.
Well, you know, Kim, that's very philosophical, and I can understand all that went on inside, but there was a physical side to this too. I'm going to bring it out. Kim sold her car to come and be a consultant in this company. Today, she drives a brand new Ferrari. Her life has gone from one side to another. Here's a person that was fairly quiet, introverted, not the kind of a person that you'd find selling the very gregarious creatures, but she has built a team of people. She has built an organization under her in Northern Ireland that reaches around the world. What she has done, you could write a book on. And she helps other people see that she can do it. I just love this woman because her strength, her integrity, her belief is so strong, and she helps so many people. Kim, there's somebody watching this that like what we're doing. They're like you were back in that room so many years ago. They liked what we're doing. They're afraid to quit their job. They're afraid to bet on themselves. They don't understand that this is it. This is their life. And there's no point in living your life doing what you don't want to do. Life is too short. What would you tell that person? Because there's an opportunity here. All they have to do is hit a button. Just talk to their advisor from the company. I don't care where they live. I don't care what they're doing. If they're holding back, what would you tell them?
Press the button. I mean, we can write about it, we can visioneer it, we can do everything that Bob has taught us. But thought brings the thing to you. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. It's why it resonates. but action is what allows you to receive it. And it doesn't matter, we can think, we can write, we can do all of these things that, let's be honest, you've been on maybe these things many times, but the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you really going to show up? Showing up is not just getting on these lives and writing pages and pages of notes. You've all probably done that. You've got to take the action. Speak to people who have demonstrated by their results, they know what they're talking about, and then bet on you. And maybe bet's the wrong word, because I don't believe in gambling, but I believe in stepping out on our faith, on our potential, and it will always see the best for you. That's what I've learned, but you won't know how. It will seem impossible, but that is the essence of faith. Do what the masses call impossible, and just
Kim,
take that action.
Kim, your story is so close to mine, where we both started out. We were scared, we were shy, we were broke. We had no money. You have earned millions of dollars in this business, and you've only been in 5 years. But the millions have been in the last year. It's built up over a short period of time. And it's so easy for a person to be watching this and say, well, she's different. The truth is, she is not different. I am not different. Kim and I are essentially the same. She started out with nothing in Northern Ireland, but she heard me and she had this strong desire to do what I was talking about, to do what I was doing. I heard Earl Nightingale. I had the strongest desire to do what he was doing, to do what he was talking about. Today I'm doing it. Millions all over the world impacted. And now she's doing it. And you're doing such a phenomenal job. She is the first executive diamond in the Procter Gallagher Institute. That's a big move. And you deserve a real big hand for that. My God, you've done such a phenomenal job. Kim, we only have a couple of minutes left here. And I know you've been asked this many times in meetings. Again, tell that person that's sitting on the edge how to step out. See, I had no money. I had to borrow $1,000. And that was to learn to clean offices. That was before I got into this. But I had a strong desire to want more than I was having. I was cheating myself out of life. And that's what you're doing. You decide to change it. Help that person make a change. Help them make the decision. Just to press a button, get on the phone and say, tell me how I can move ahead. Because there's help here for you. Tell them, what would you tell them?
Well, here's something that I thought, and I think will really serve everybody. Instead of trying to run away from the paradigm or the voices, ask yourself, whose voice is it that's telling you to stay where you are? Because you will realize that that is not someone that you want to continue to listen to. I don't believe it's you. I don't believe it's the real you. I believe most of the time we stay stuck, stay on the fence, is because we're listening to a voice that isn't even ours. And I think the best thing that you can do for yourself, I believe the reason that you're here, you've been called to this, is because there's an inner voice, a real voice, that when you listen to that and you grab onto that and demonstrate through action, that's the key. You're going to be led to the most beautiful life that you have no idea. Like Bob says to me all the time, Kim, you've no idea what's to come. And as much as that drives me crazy, I know he's right. And I've learned to trust that and to trust myself. So trust yourself, demonstrate it through action, and we will see you on the inside.
If you're not happy with where you're living, listen to somebody like Kim. Listen to somebody like myself. Do exactly what we tell you. Even if it's difficult, even if it scares you. That's exactly how I started. I was 26. I did exactly what Ray told me. Then I did exactly what Val told me. Then I did exactly what Earl told me. When Kim started, I told her to do something. She did exactly what I told her. And I'm going to tell you, her life is like a flower. It's blossomed. What a phenomenal individual you are. Kim has just come back from the south of Spain, where she's building a beautiful villa, holiday villa. She took her management team over there. I think they were there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's one of the rewards you get for job well done. And that's what she was explaining to her team. Don't sit back. Do what I'm telling you. Do what Kim's telling you. This woman didn't know anything. She is, without question, she runs the most effective business in our company today. I am so damn proud of her. I really love this woman. I'm telling you, she is so good. And she's so honest. And it's like Corey and I agreed. The one quality is integrity. She is the most honest, direct individual in the world. And when she tells you, listen to her. She's built a multi-million-dollar business. You can as well. Kim, you phoned in here from the other side of the world. I want to thank you for doing that. I want to congratulate you on what you've done. You know,
thank you very much.
Executive Diamond. I mean, you're such a marvelous example for everybody to follow. I look forward to seeing you in the very near future, Kim. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to turn this back to, I'll turn it back to Mikey, who will continue with the program.
By the way, Mikey, thank you, Iraj, and thank you so much, Kim. It's always a pleasure having. Sorry about that, Bob. Thank you, Bob, and thank you so much, Kim. It's always a pleasure having you on here. And Iraj, I'm going to hand it right over to you to bring us in for a landing. Give us, of course, one more daily assignment, and it's all yours.
All right, thanks, Mike. Well, what a powerful week. That's such a great story with Kim and where she was and where she is. And we've all got to witness it and watch it. And she's helped so many people across the world. So every time I listen to it, I remember meeting her for the first time. So it's just, I'm so happy for her and so proud of her because I know how much guts it takes at first and where she was. So, you know, you guys want to really borrow. I've been telling you all week to borrow my belief, borrow Bob's belief, borrow Kim's belief. You know, you'll know the truth because the truth always resonates with the essence of who we are. And I want you guys to really, if you're sitting on that fence, really go back to what Bob was talking about yesterday, what Kim was talking about today, is the most valuable lesson Bob learned was decision-making. You know, and that was the most valuable lesson I learned. And remind yourself, let your desire drive your decision, not your paradigm. Anytime you allow your paradigm to drive your decision, you'll know because you're procrastinating. When your desire is driving it, you do it like this. You do it in an instance where Bob was talking about you have to act on the decision within 30 seconds or you don't deserve to win. So really set yourself up with a winning formula by surrounding yourself with the right environment, the right mentors. Well, let me go over today's assignment. I love today's assignment because it is going to really cap everything off. We're going to send you a link that Bob did on attitude when he recreated Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field program. This is the audio that I listened to over and over again that I was telling you earlier. And I would like you guys to listen to it 3 times today. And I'd like you to write out your biggest takeaways and tag your success advisor. Attitude is going to change your life. Attitude changes everybody's life who's doing it. And you can see who's operating from a positive mental attitude just by feeling their energy. And then I'd love for you guys to write out also one last writing assignment is write out the person you intend to become. You know, really write out how you want to live as the person you intend to become. This is more a self-image exercise. And just to remind you the importance of self-image, our self-image, we can never outperform. We can change it, but we can never outperform it. Anyway, it's been such a pleasure this week being with you guys. And I look forward to hearing all the success stories. And I want to thank everybody who's been a part of this and you guys really showing up, throughout the whole week. Tommy, I'm going to send it over to you.
Thanks, Arash. Hey everyone, Tommy here again. What a perfect final assignment Arash just gave us to really put a cherry on top of a phenomenal week. Make sure you go get into it right away. Now I want to reiterate the bonus offer that we have going on here one more time, and here it is. For those of you who decide to invest in the PGI Consultant business, by this Monday night, October 25th, you will receive 2 free months in Bob Proctor's phenomenal masterclass program. This is a great opportunity that we are so happy to offer as a reward to all of the quick decision makers here who are ready to take the leap, invest in yourself and your success, and get into business for yourself, but not by yourself, as a PGI consultant. Now, there is only one way to enroll as a PGI consultant, and that is by having a conversation with a PGI staff success advisor. To book a call with a success advisor to talk about becoming a consultant with us, or to find out about getting involved with one of our other programs here at PGI, just click the link in the description of this video below, fill out the form on the page that you get to, and your advisor or their assistant will reach out to you to book that call with you. If you're already in contact with your advisor, you can also just reach out to them however you have been communicating. If you have not made contact yet or don't know who your advisor is, just click the link in the description below, fill out the form, and they will be in touch, I promise. Also, if you're on Facebook Messenger, be sure to check your message request folder, as your success advisor may be trying to reach you there. And all of our success advisors are on Facebook Messenger, so you can also feel free to reach out directly to your success advisor with any questions or to book a call through Facebook Messenger. Now, this may be the end of our main sessions for the week, but don't be sad. We still have some more bonus content coming up for you today and over the weekend. So today at 1 p.m. Eastern, just about an hour from now, we are going to have something very cool. For those of you who would like to learn more about what it actually means to be a PGI consultant, we are going to broadcast an hour-long video that has PGI consultants from all around the world answering all of the most frequently asked questions about the consultant business. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern today, we will be hosting our final roundtable Q&A panel with our PGI Success Advisors, and that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Time today, right here on YouTube. And then tomorrow, PGI Success Advisor Bill Banta will be back with PGI Consultant Kim Calvert. And again, on Sunday, PGI Success Advisor Monica Demarin will return with PGI Consultant Julie Ciardi. So those will both be at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be posting those events here on YouTube a little later today. All right, now you can find the replay for this broadcast and all of the training segments this week right here on our YouTube channel. On our channel homepage, there is a playlist for this event where we have all of the replays posted. I want to remind you that the replays for this training will only be available for a few more days. The replays are all going to come down on Monday night, October 25th, so make sure that you get all of the lessons watched and rewatched between now and then. If I were you, I would maybe plan on binge watching everything over the weekend again, maybe a few times. I want to congratulate you now for making it all the way to day 5. Thank you for being here with us for this incredible week we've just had. Now go make it a great rest of your day. Have fun with today's assignment. And now to close out, we're going to leave you with a special video. Thank you again. We'll see you soon.
Hello there and welcome. I'm Bob Proctor. You know, 50 years ago when I started teaching this material, I really didn't want to be a public speaker. In fact, I was fairly shy, and especially on a stage. I really didn't know how to work one-on-one in a coaching fashion with people either. The whole coaching and consulting world was completely foreign to me. Now, I could have let my fear and ignorance stop me right there. In fact, even today, I still don't think of myself as a public speaker. I just had a tremendous desire to teach this material that had changed my life so dramatically for the better. I wanted everyone to know about it. So I found a way. Now, thankfully, I had several mentors step into my life